this episode, and in this episode we're going to be working with the cupped corset. So now here is the basic bodice which we're going to be making use of to get our cupped corset. But before then, we have to shape this basic bodice into a shaped bodice, because if you realize when we sewed the basic bodice, you can see that there still is allowance added to what the basic bodice. So here, for us to get our cupped corset, we are going to be removing excesses so that we have a snatched waist and we have a fitted top for the cupped corset. So what we are going to be doing now is to get the actual body measurement, get the pattern measurement, and get the difference. So when we have the difference, then we can now split on either sides of this pattern block in order for us to take off our excess. So now what we need to do first, we already have our actual body measurement which we used in drafting this basic bodice block, right? So we need to get the pattern measurement. How you get your true bust line is measuring 2 centimeters from the bust line down at the center back line, 2 centimeters. Then at the UP, back UP, you measure 4 centimeters. The front UP, you measure 4 centimeters. Then at the center front, from the bust line, you measure 4 centimeters. So that is how I get the true bust line, which you can see here. So the next thing for you to do is to get your under bust line. And how do you get your under bust line? You're going to be taking the measurement on the body figure from the shoulder point to under the bust. So you take your measurement from the neck point until when you get that measurement. So now this is my under bust measurement, taken from the neck point all the way down to the actual body measurement I took on the body figure. Now we already have our waistline. So now what we're going to be doing now is to get what? The pattern measurement. My actual body measurement, which we used in drafting this basic bodice block, is 86 centimeters. Alright, so the pattern measurement now, I'm going to be taking the measurements on the true bust line from your center back line. What I have here for the back is 23. So I continue taking the measurement. So what I have here is 47.5. So now I'm going to be multiplying this measurement times 2. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because I have my actual body measurement as all around the body figure. Alright? So now I have to balance up, because what I have here now is just half of my round figure. So I have to balance up my measurements taken from here. So now that will give me 95 centimeters. So now I have 95 centimeters, which is what? The bust measurement from the pattern. So now the waist measurement, I'm going to be measuring it on the waistline, skipping my darts. So this is 41, so that's 82 centimeters. So I'm noting it down. And I also have my round under bust, which is 74. So now, my pattern measurements, skipping the darts. So this is 44, that's 88. Then my hip on the hip line now. So I have 51, that's 102. So now that I've gotten what? My pattern measurement, all I need to do now is to deduct my pattern measurement away from my actual body measurement. For the bust now, I have my actual measurement as 86. I have my pattern measurement as 95. So the difference is 9 centimeters. For my waist, I have my actual body measurement as 72. I have my pattern measurement as 82. So the difference 10 centimeters. Then for my hip, I have 98 centimeters for my actual body measurement. I have 102 for my pattern measurement. So the difference 4 centimeters. For my round under bust, I have my actual body measurement as 74. For my pattern measurement, I have 88. So the difference is 15. So now you are going to be dividing your difference by 2. So now the reason why you are deducting your difference by 2 is because what you have worked with as your measurement now is like all round of the body measurement. And what we have that we are working with is just half of the front, half of the back. Alright, so that's why we're dividing by 2. So I have 4.5, I have 5, I have 2, and I have 7.5. 7.5 is what we are going to be splitting on this body block. Alright, so now this is my center front, this is my center back, this is my side front, this is my side back. So for the bust, I have 4.5 centimeter to take off. Now, all these differences that we're going to be taking out on this pattern measurement, now it is up to you to take it out. There is no, will I use the word, standard way of you taking out this excess. But you need to remember something, that you have little workspace at the center front piece than the center front, than the side front piece. So if you're going to be taking anything, you have to take more at the side front than the center front. We are also going to be taking at the side front and also the side back. So now, how you are going to be splitting this difference in order for you to take off this excess now is up to you. So just use, let me use the word initiative to split in a way that it's balanced up, and eventually you achieve a very nice connection between the bust, the waist, and the under bust. The same thing for the dart, that you have a nice connection joining them together. Alright, so now let me start splitting my bust measurement. Now the bust measurement, which I'm going to be taking from the bust, the true bust line. So now I have 4.5 to take off, so let's say 2.5, then 2. So for my under bust, I have 7.5 to take off. So now let's do this. So if I say 2, I'll be left with 5.5. So let's say 2, that's 4.5. So please, you have to note down so that you don't make a mistake. So I am left with 3 centimeter. So 1.5, 1.5. Okay, so let's leave that for now. So I'm trying to vision it in a way that my side seam will eventually connect properly without any issue. So now I've done that for the under bust. Let me check the waist to confirm that what I'm splitting out will work better. So I have 5 centimeter to take off. So now let's do this. 5 centimeter, 5 centimeter. Okay. So I'm left with 1.5. So 1.5, 0.75. Let's see how this works. 0.75. So I'm done taking my 5 centimeter. So let's see if it's going to be connecting well. So now the under bust will not connect well. Okay, so now let's do this. Let me connect. So for side back, good. Okay, so now for this under bust that is not connecting, I just have 0.7. So that's 0.7 now. I'm coming here to bring it out. That's like 0.35, 0.35. Okay, so now that I have that, yeah, I'm good with my measurement there. Then I connect. Yeah, so for the hip now, I have 2 centimeters. Now most of the time, I always prefer to take it off from the dart as 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, all the way. Then I connect all the way down. So connecting my waist back to hip. Alright, so now I've been able to achieve the contouring, that's removal of all excesses now. Alright, and as you can see, I eventually have a very nice shape as my side front, also for my side back, and as well for my center front piece. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to be working with now, since we are going to be working with the cup corsets. Now, for you to achieve this, the first thing you need to do first is to get 1 centimeter from the center front. You measure 1 centimeter. So you connect it all the way down. Now, making progress, you will need the cup that you are going to be making use of for the cup corsets. So here I have a push-up bra cup, preferably a push-up bra cup. So the first thing you're going to be doing is to fold up the cup into 2. Now you are doing this in order for you to get the midpoint and mark. The midpoint and mark. Now if you're going to be doing this, it means that you're going to be working with a U cup. You're going to be achieving a U cup. But a situation whereby you want it to have a sweetheart neckline. So it means that you're going to be tilting. So it depends on how deep you now want it to go. So it means you're going to be tilting your bra cup, having the sweetheart neckline. Alright, but if you want it to be a U, you just have to fold to get the center point to get your U. Don't forget, if you want a sweetheart, it means you're going to be tilting it depending on how deep or how low you want it to go. Okay, so now since we are going to be working with a U, now I've marked the center, both the upper part and also the lower part. Now this is going to be a guide. You have to note it down because whatever you do now will determine your progress when sewing. So now the next thing for you to do now is to fold the dart. You're going to be closing up the dart. So now once you fix this, now if you take a look at what has happened here, the line which I marked as the center will have to move. So now I've marked a new line in order for it to tally with this border line I have here. So now by the time you mark that out, all you just need to do is to hold this. Now you have to be careful when holding this. You're not holding it too much, neither are you flattening it. So you just have to use your hand just to guide it. You're not that you're pressing it or whatsoever. So you just guide it in order for it not to move. Then you mark your cup out. So here I have my curved shape. Now, a situation whereby you are not going to be working with a cup. So you can have a cupped corset even without using a cup. So what you just need to do is to get the bust radius. So from your bust point all the way to your under bust, then you get a circle out. I don't have that here. So you get a circle out. So now the distance is from your bust point to your under bust. So by the time you have a round circle, that is where you now carve out your cup out. So that's another drill entirely. All right, but for the cup corset, preferably you work with your cup because this is what you're going to be using inside, back. All right, so now that we have this, so we have my one piece and my second piece for the cup corset. Now we are not done. You can either have your cup corset as a strapless blouse, or you have it to get an illusion. So now if we are going to be getting a strapless blouse, we still need to take some excess, because don't forget there's nothing holding it at the upper part, so it has to be firm along the chest line and also along the across back. All right, so a situation whereby you are going to be having that, so you need a tightening, so we call it a bust tightening. So what you're just going to be doing is to come in from the front UP by ½ inch, raising it up by ½ inch. The same thing goes for the back, ½ inch, and taking it in by ½ inch. Then you're going to be reshaping. Then you're going to be reshaping your side seam. So now from the ½ inch above the bust line, ½ inch in from the UP. So you just have to reshaping it back to your true bust line. Then also it goes for my front. So now that we have this, so let me just erase it so we don't get confused. All right, so now that we have this, now all you just need to do is to connect whatsoever you have back to your cup. Then this goes straight up. That's the bust radius, the cup we had now. This goes straight up like this. Now, you can either have any neckline at the back. So you can decide to have like a slight curve. So it can go deeper. You can have a straight line, maybe a sharp V, or it goes deeper. So it just depends on any neckline you want to achieve. All right. So the major thing is that now we already have this. As our cup shaping. So now I'm still going to be taking quarter on either side from the dart line, so it's still part of the bust tightening. So by the time we have this, all you just need to do is to reshape back to the bust point. You will see this. So now, also for my center back, I'm going to be connecting the dart line all the way up to the neckline. Then also doing my neckline for the back on either side away from the dart leg. Then I connect back to my dart. So now my side front and my side back has changed. So this is what my side back, this is what my side front. So now we are also going to be getting a basque effect. So now to get your basque effect, all you need to do is to measure down from your waistline. From your waistline all the way down to your desired length. So you just have to take your measurements from your neck point to how low you want it to be. Either you are taking it below your abdomen or you are taking it exactly at your low waist. All right, so let me determine this. So I'll be making use of 7 inches away from the waist. So what I'm going to be doing here now is to make the back come up a little bit from the front. Okay, and for me to do that, I would have to fold my dart. Now the reason why we're folding this dart, it's so that your style line eventually will meet, because there's high assurance that if you don't do this, your style line will not eventually meet by the time you finish connecting and you want to sew. So I connect. The side seam also. Okay, so I'm just going to reshape. Okay, so let me bring out the shape. So now this is my desired style line. So you can individually create your own style line depending on whatsoever you really want to achieve as the end result. Okay, so now here I have my hemline for this cup corset. Now for us to create an eyelet, now you can either use a zipper for your fastening, or you have what? An eyelet lacing for your fastening. So now if we're going to be creating an eyelet lacing for this cup corset, what we need to do now, you can either have it covered or you have it opened. So now you can also either have it, this center back piece, off away from this pattern piece, so it makes your spacing more wider, or you just, for modesty's sake, you can just take it in a little bit, and whatsoever style line you're going to be achieving, you achieve it. So now what I'm going to be making use of for this, I'm just going to be taking 5 centimeters for the upper part and 3 centimeters for the lower part. So in this case, what I'm going to be having as my style line is going to be slanted. So I can either have it straight, so it means I will have to take the same 5 centimeters for the upper part and also the 5 centimeters for the lower part. Or I can either decide that the whole center back piece will be going off and I have my eyelet at just the side back piece. Alright, so with what I have here now, taking my 5 centimeters at the upper part and 3 centimeters at the lower part, so this is where my eyelet will be slotted in. It will be fixed with that one. Alright, so now let me just move on to the front. Now we have just a panel line, which is what? Just our dart panel line. So you can either have another style line. So most times we always have another style line coming right at the under of this cup corset, all right, before the side seam. So you can either have it straight, you can either have it diagonal. So it all depends on whatsoever you want to achieve really. So now let me have mine as diagonal. All right, So now that I have this, I have what? My number 1 piece, number 2, number 3 for my front. And for my back now, I can also have another style line before my side back. So it all depends on whatsoever you want to achieve. You can either have it straight, you can either have it diagonal. So it all boils down to whatsoever you want to achieve really. So now that I have this now, if you really want it to be more snatched, it means that beyond what you have taken as your pattern measurement and your actual measurements, you will have to take more in order for it to, compress and to snatch your body figure. So with what I have here now, I can work with this even without making it more snatched. So it just means that I'm going to be slashing all my panel lines. But now if I want it to be more snatched, all I just need to do now is to take more out of it. So now, I'm going to be taking half cm because I don't want it to be too tight. So half cm also at the waist and at the under bust here at the back. So in this case, now don't forget, the whole idea of this is for it to be more snatched than the actual body measurements which we are working with now. So you can either decide to use it or you decide not to use it. But whichever way, you're still going to be achieving what? Your cupped corset. And it's still going to be very fitted and very nice on you. Alright, so now that we have this now, let's outline the parts that we're going to be using for this cup corset to cut out. So now, don't mix it up, don't forget you've taken some excess. So now I have all the parts I'll be needing outlined out. So as you can see, the center front piece, the front piece of the cup, the side piece of the cup, the two different panel lines, my side back. So for the center back now, this is my center back, and I have my 1, I have my 2, and I have my 3. So here are all the pieces I'm going to be using to achieve what? My cupped corset. What I'm going to be doing now is to cut out these pieces. So we had a sewing allowance on the fabric and we move on to the next module, which is the sewing aspect. Alright, so see you in the next module. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Here we are at AY Stitches Fashion Academy. Thank you.